a closet with walled cities, past lives in boxes. Music absorbed till it seeped from my skin. Can't stand to hear it. Means more to me than photographs. Pictures of backyard and northern sunsets are all that exist in my mind. Freshly cut lines and daytime sprinklers, spider webs on a grey wooden fence. I remember the comedian.
Good morning, and we're back on the grand tour today, and we're at Blenkinsopp Castle Inn. And this time my daughter's with me. This is the remains of Blenkinsopp Castle. That's what it would have originally looked like. And it started raining again. Typical. By the 16th century, the castle was in a ruinous state, and the Blenkensopps abandoned it in favour of Ballester Castle, which we saw on section 7. In 1877, William Blenkinsopp Coulson incorporated the ruins into a large mansion, but sold it shortly after completing it. It became a hotel in the early 20th century, but was extensively damaged in a fire in 1954. And this is what you can see of it. Blenkinsopp gives us another Northumberland legend, the legend of the White Lady. When the castle was in the possession of Brian de Blenkinsopp, he boasted that he would only marry a woman whose dowry was her weight in gold.
Didn't you marry one of these Frey girls?
Aye. Lord Walder let me choose any of his granddaughters and promised me the gold's weight in silver as a dowry. So I have a fat young bride.
I hope she makes you very happy.
Well, she's made me very rich.
He went away to fight abroad and came back married to a woman who had a chest of gold that took 12 men to carry.
In fact, her men carried the treasure chest because she brought with her her own band of retainers and ladies-in-waiting. And for miles they struggled towards Blenkinsopp Castle, humping that enormous great box.
The lady decided to cheat her husband's greed by having the chest buried in a secret location in the castle vaults.
Sir Brown decided if he wasn't going to get the money, he may as well go back to the wars, and he did just that.
She later ran after him, trying to find him so that he would return to her. But she too was never seen again, at least not alive. Today, the ghost, the White Lady, is said to haunt these ruins, regretting her actions that led to the loss of her husband. So we've just crossed the A69. As before, it's a very busy road, so you have to be careful when crossing it. And now we're going to cross the railway line, and they've got like a crash barrier blocking the path, so I have to get across that as well. But we're heading in that direction. I believe this is the last time we crossed the Newcastle to Carlisle line. We've been crossing it backwards and forwards throughout the entire Grand Tour so far. This is Greenhead Cottage. It used to be a bastel and it was converted into a house in 1757. There's Neil Can't Pass a Pub. We're going to check out the church.
Daddy, we need to swap.
Why? we go to the pub. Did you hear that, folks? My daughter says we need to swap. Neil needs to come and look at the church and we need to go to the pub. This is the Church of St Cuthbert in Greenhead. It was completed in 1828. Unfortunately it's locked, so I can't take you inside. So this is the Greenhead Hotel. Unfortunately it's closed for refurbishing. So Neil's pub crawl's been spoilt.
Oh man, we'll be back though.
The hotel reopens on the 8th of February, which coincidentally is the same time that Vindolanda reopens. Okay, Neil wants to check out his wellies crossing the ford. Even though we don't have to. Even though we don't actually have to cross the ford. Can he do it?
No, I pretty deep actually.
Go on, you coward.
Yeah, I'm a coward.
He's chickening out.
A nice one.
The first sign of spring. Behind me is Thirlwall Castle. It was built in the 1330s by John Thirlwall using stone taken from Hadrian's wall. After the union of the crowns in 1603, the castle was shortly abandoned and the Thirlwalls moved to Hexham. The castle was sold in 1748 to the Earl of Carlisle, who just wanted the land. It was already in ruins by the end of the 18th century. Thirlwall Castle is another location for a Northumberland legend, the legend of the dwarf and the golden table. When Baron John Thirlwall came back from fighting in foreign lands, he brought with him a table that was made of solid gold that was guarded by a dwarf. The Scots, wanting the table, eventually managed to take the castle and kill everybody inside it. But when they came to claim the table, they found it gone from the room that housed it. Then one of the Scots saw the dwarf carrying the table. The dwarf threw it into the well and jumped in after. The well magically sealed over, and there the dwarf continues to live with the gold table and an underground cavern beneath the castle. There may be a little bit of truth to this tale, in that there was once a tunnel that connected this castle to Blenkinsopp Castle. Rome, 1,130 miles. Vindolanda, 6.2 miles. We'll be going to Vindolanda, we're not going to Rome. Birdiswald, 3.2 miles. That's in Cumbria. So I'll give you an idea how close we are to the Cumbrian border. Sadly, the Roman Army Museum is closed for the winter. It reopens to the public again on the 9th of February. It's getting windy now. Behind me is the walls of the Roman fort known as Carvoran. It was built around about 80 AD and it housed the soldiers from Syria. I'm not sure if you can get that on the camera because now it's just an earth mound. It's located at the back of the Roman Army Museum. It's interesting to think that there was once Syrian soldiers here protecting Roman Britain from the tribes that lay north of the wall. That's looking down on Walltown Quarry. It would have been quite a large working quarry at its time. Since we left Thirlwall Castle, we've been walking along the Hadrian's Wall path, but it's not until we get to Walltown Quarries that we actually start to see the wall. This year is Hadrian's Wall. It's a World Heritage Site. It began in AD 122 and it took 6 years to complete. It's 73 miles in length, making it the largest Roman artifact anywhere. Just imagine, the wall behind me has been standing here for over 1,800 years. Pretty amazing, isn't it? This here is the first of the turrets that we can clearly see. This is turret 45A. There's been like a watchtower on here. Let's see what they would have seen. The weather's turning bad actually. What a view. The wall went along the top of the windsill. The Romans used the natural landscape for their defensive purposes. There's a lot of geese. Somewhere in this vicinity is King Arthur's Well. The name comes from the legend of King Arthur. To the west in Cumbria is the legendary site of King Arthur's last battle at Camlan. It's about 8 miles west of the Northumbrian border. King Arthur and Merlin are closely connected to the borders, and King Arthur was supposedly a Roman legionnaire. It's getting really wild now, like. We're forecasting fleeting showers. It's been a downpour for the last 2-3 miles now. Large parts of the wall are missing. Where it's near large settlements, that's because they stole the stone to build buildings. But here in the middle of nowhere, it was General Wade that stole the stone to build the military road between Newcastle and Carlisle as a result of the Jacobite Revolution. It's a pretty bleak place, like, isn't it?
Very bleak.
Wish this rain would stop. The house on the hill. This here is the Syria Fort. It was completed in 128 AD to protect Khor Gap. There's not a lot remaining of the fort. It was initially mined by the 6th cohort of Nervians, which is in modern day Belgium. Later they were replaced by the Rhetians from modern day Switzerland. And finally the Asturians from modern day Spain. People all over the Roman Empire came here to protect Britain from the tribes to the north of the wall. Fleeting showers, my foot. starting to get dark, not because the sun's gone down, but because of the clouds. Really black. It's a very dreary day. Okay, we're at Shield on the Wall. This is where we leave the wall and we head down to see the Mare and Foal standing stones. The weather is absolutely horrendous, so I'm going to use some old footage that I've got from when I visited this place before, and then I'll just voice over what I want to say. I know it's a bit cheating, but honestly in this weather it's just absolutely, we're like drowned rats. I mean, I've got the umbrella to keep the camera dry, but that's literally all the thing that it does keep dry. It's persistent horizontal rain all the way along the wall. We're just drowned. So we'll do a finish up in the car when we get there. This here is the Mare and Foal. According to the 1769 Armstrong map, it showed that there was 3 stones here once upon a time. It's said that the original circle consisted of 15 stones, although some accounts suggest that it was only 4 stones. The stones could be around 3,000 years old, about 1,000 years before Hadrian's Wall. So Neil, what did you think of that?
My God, rain, rain and more rain. Rain. That's what I think of it, rain. Never listen to this guy, the Northern Wayfarer. I've said this many times before, but this is the wettest I've ever been on any walk, I think. And probably the muddiest. We've got a muddy dog, a muddy child, a muddy man, and like an idiot that brought us along on this adventure. Mud, 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 rain, rain, rain. It's been a good adventure, but I'd recommend it not to do it in this weather. This is crazy weather. But seeing the wall is brilliant. Do it in the summer. Over now, I'm going to go and get like an Indian takeaway, warm fire, and just relax.
That was absolutely horrendous weather-wise. If it wasn't for the weather, this would have been a great walk. But unfortunately the weather just completely destroyed it. Everybody is absolutely drenched. I mean, I had the umbrella, but the only thing that the umbrella did was keep the camera dry. Every part of me is wet. My daughter is absolutely soaked. We were going to go to Blenkinsopp Castle Inn for dinner, but we're just going to go home, have a nice warm bath, get some dry clothes on, and then just get something to eat at home where it's nice and warm. So what did you think of it, daughter?
That's the only thing I can say.
I think that's
what did you think of it?
Dreadful. That's the only thing I can say. Anything else is just rain, wet. I'm bored.
So if you liked the video, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment below. Hit the subscribe button for the next adventure and share with your friends on social media. And I'll catch you on the next one. Hopefully it'll be much more drier than this one.
If you like singing in the rain, you've come to the right place.
I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling, I'm happy again. No clouds in the sky, and rain from above. The sun's in my heart, and I'm ready for love. Let the stormy clouds chase all those his troubles and pains. 'Cause I'm singing, just singing in